And welcome to the latest in Caring.com series of educational webinars. Today's session is focused on strategic social marketing for senior care professionals. I'm Denise Grob, Caring.com's Director of Industry Marketing, and I'm thrilled to be your presenter today. Before we dive into the presentation, let's quickly cover a few housekeeping items. This is a one-way webcast where only the presenter speaks. However, you may ask questions by typing and submitting them using the tool on the right side of your screen. I'll then answer those questions at the end of the session. And don't worry if you think of a question after the session or we run out of time. I'm happy to follow up in the coming days and weeks to deliver answers to any social media questions you may have. We also share the presentation deck, recording, and follow-up materials with you afterward as well. First, a word about your host today, Caring.com, a company I'm very proud to be a part of. We are the #1 senior care resource, a company with a social mission that started out to support family caregivers of older adults in America and has evolved into an important senior care industry partner as well. With 3 million monthly visitors to our website and 70,000 listings, we're #1 for senior care reviews, with more than 100,000 consumer reviews on our site now and thousands added monthly. We also offer award-winning content and a wide variety of online support groups for family caregivers. And Caring.com is part of Bankrate's powerful network of websites dedicated to supporting people in making complex financial decisions. For those of you not yet familiar with me, I've been at Caring.com for 5.5 years, first serving as Director of Social Community and most recently as Director of Industry Marketing. I have extensive communications experience ranging from journalism and public relations to marketing communications, social marketing, and online community management. I was an early adopter of social media and have been helping brands with social marketing for about 10 years now. We have a great agenda for you today and a lot of information to cover. We'll first quickly recap the highlights of our last social marketing session, covering some basics you need to understand before taking social to the next level, which we'll be covering in the rest of the session. After the recap, we'll dive into the 2016 social marketing landscape, key strategies and trends for senior care marketers, and tips to how to better measure your success. We'll also share some specific success stories and end with Q&A and how to get in touch afterward. Before we get started, though, I'd like to take a quick poll in response to a question we received before the webcast about how many senior care industry marketers were using a digital marketing agency and how many were managing their social media by staff at the corporate level versus those at the local level. So let's go ahead and launch our poll. We'd love to hear your responses to both of those. All right. Okay, so now you should see the poll on your screen, and I would like for you to take a moment to answer, choose one of these. Are you using in-house staff at your local senior living community or home care franchise to do your social marketing? Are you leveraging corporate marketing staff at the chain level? Or do you have staff at a digital marketing agency or a PR agency handling your social marketing? How about a combination of the above? Or no one yet at your organization managing your social media marketing? So we've got some responses coming in. Really appreciate everyone. I'm just going to give you a few more seconds to go ahead and fill that out. Okay, great. The ticker's still moving here. Okay, great. So I'm going to go ahead and show you what we have for the results. Okay, here we go. So what we're seeing here is most of you are using in-house staff at the local level, followed by a combination of corporate, local, and an agency. And we also see we have almost 10% who aren't yet doing it yet. So this first half of our presentation will be particularly helpful to you folks. So let's go ahead and get back to our presentation. Okay. All right. Let's refresh on some social media marketing basics for senior care. Just let me get our slide to progress. There we go. For those already at the intermediate or advanced social media levels, I thank you for your patience as we bring the newbies and beginners up to speed. We're going to move quickly through these slides, though, so any of you who need more detail on these basics, please contact community@caring.com, and we'll send you some follow-up materials and answer those basics questions afterward. First, let's be clear on what social media is. Many people still think social media is just social networking on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and the like. But social media and social marketing includes so much more, such as caregiving discussion groups, senior living or home care blogs, and online reviews about senior care providers. Social media brings people together online to connect, share information, participate, and collaborate. It's a culture of communication where the crowd gathers and works together, and anyone can have a voice. This is data from the Pew Research Center, which has been surveying internet users for years and offers its reports on its website free of charge. As you can see, boomers and seniors are in the social media crowd in increasing numbers, with most using the internet daily. And online usage is particularly high for those in the upper income brackets who are financially qualified for senior living communities or able to hire home care agencies. When I share this data, a common question I get asked is which social networks are boomers and seniors using most? The answer by far is Facebook. Just yesterday, I did a search in the Facebook Ads Manager software to see potential reach for an ad to men and women age 50 plus in the US. Facebook told me that my ad parameters were fairly broad and that there were 51 million users who met that description. Yeah, you heard me right, 51 million users who met my parameters of male or female age 50 plus in the US. YouTube is also quite popular with millions of boomers and older adults, whether they're watching how-to videos or their favorite TV and music clips. And Pinterest is another how-to network. It has 47 million users in the US. 85% are women and 30% over age 45. Pinterest has become so powerful recently that at Caring, we're even seeing it drive more traffic to our website than Twitter now. Social media and social networks in particular can help older adults and boomers stay connected with family and friends, especially if they're spread out over great distances. It helps combat loneliness and boredom and offers a mental or emotional break from caregiving in the daily routine. Social media also provides entertainment, delivers news and information, connects us to our favorite brands and celebrities, and it's there at any time that's convenient for us. Social media can also be a learning tool and deliver some financial savings via online deals, which is also very helpful to older adults. One study by Janelle Woltman at the University of Arizona even found that older adults perform better on memory tasks after using Facebook than before they learned to use Facebook. This study was particularly popular in our last session, and if you want a link to it, don't hesitate to reach out to community@caring.com. Happy to forward that along to you, especially if you're considering social media as an activity for older adults at your senior living community, or you have a home care client with whom you'd like to share about the benefits of social media. There are plenty of ways that social media can support you in achieving a variety of your business objectives, whether you're trying to raise awareness of your services, build deeper relationships with your clients and their family members, or expand your industry clout. I'll share specific details on using social media for your business goals later in this presentation. Now keep in mind some ingredients to a successful social media effort include these things: sharing content that drives interactions, a sizable crowd of the right people, those people feeling comfortable and motivated to participate, and a way for them to benefit from doing so. You also want this effort to be tied to some measurable goals and be using the right set of platforms and tactics to achieve those goals. When you approach social media marketing, consider your audience for each platform and share content in a way that conveys the value of that information to that audience. Why should they care? What's in it for them? Demonstrate your expertise by contributing tips or sharing experiential anecdotes, and avoid being too self-promotional. Telling stories and putting a human face to your shares is also a really effective technique in social marketing. Also consider the primary goals for your business in using social media. What are you trying to achieve? That should help you to prioritize from among the many social media platforms. And once you decide your priorities, optimize those profiles according to each platform and how it's used. Fill out descriptions about your business and include, this is really important, include your contact information and compelling images. Start connecting to others. Follow profiles or pages that share your mission or that have content and information your audience would appreciate. Watch and learn best practices. Who is generating the most engagement and how are they doing it? Ask your fans and followers questions. Get their feedback on new initiatives you're starting. Collaborate with others. Give a like to others' pages, share a post of theirs to your page, join the conversations. All of this activity helps build up your social clout and the social signal to the search engines, including the search algorithms on social networks themselves. In our last social marketing session, we also covered some rookie mistakes on Facebook, including joining without a focus, not optimizing the About section on your business page, or worse, setting up a personal page for a business instead of a business page. This actually came up several times in the questions we got before this session, how to maintain both a personal profile and a business page and participate as each. And I will follow up separately with each of you that asked about that to provide some specific training to help you. Another common rookie mistake with Facebook is talking about yourself or your own content too much. If 80% or more of your posts are promotions for your business, or you're only sharing content from your website or blog and you're not sharing from other reputable sources, you're not optimized for Facebook engagement, and your page followers are likely to hide you from their newsfeed or even unlike your page. It's also important to monitor which posts are working well and which posts aren't. There's a variety of factors that can affect engagement, but start with what you can control. The topics you're choosing to discuss, the visuals and words you're using. Here's an example of a share we did that generated over 1,000 likes and nearly 100 comments. It was a heartwarming video from another page, Hidden Heroes, that we knew our audience would love. And it helped us get our brand in front of almost 36,000 people who didn't know us before, and it didn't cost us a dime. And we gained some new followers as a result of this share. Timing of your posts can also make a big difference. For instance, we monitor the engagement metrics for our page shares very closely, and we have found that certain times of day perform better than others. So we try to stick to those posting times for the content we really want to go viral. We also keep in mind where the majority of our fans are located and adapt our timing to their time zone and what's happening in their part of the world on any given day. When the New York Times wanted to learn more about the psychology of social sharing, they worked with Latitude Research to do a study of what motivated people to share content. They learned that 94% of social media users will consider the link's usefulness to others before posting it to their profile. 85% are sharing to get insights from others. 75% are processing the news and information for a greater understanding. 73% are using sharing as a way to identify others with similar interests, find people like me, and 68% are sharing to advertise their own personal likes or a persona they're trying to emulate. Keep these motivations in mind when you craft or select content for your Facebook profile, particularly if you want that content to get shared widely or go viral. Now, in the beginner session, we also talked about what I think is one of the most powerful tools in social media for senior care providers. That is online reviews. In his ebook about online reputation management, Steve Moran of Senior Housing Forum has a great quote I'd like to share with you. He said, I have never talked to a senior living provider who loves the idea that anyone can go to the internet and offer up their critique of their visit to a senior living community. Though I would argue if you are a great provider, you should be delighted when this happens. I wholeheartedly agree with Steve on this, and it applies to home care agencies and other senior care providers too. In just the last few years at Caring.com, we've noticed a significant shift in how consumers use our online directory. They're clicking on listings with reviews and skipping those that don't have them. The vast majority tell us in periodic surveys that they find consumer reviews very useful to their research of senior care providers. This firsthand experience feedback gives them insights about what current or former clients liked or disliked about the business and how the listed business may or may not meet their needs as a prospective client. We've also done analysis on the impact of reviews in multiple categories in our directory, and we have found that listings with reviews can get up to 14 times more inquiries than listings without reviews. We also found that reviews have helped drive 16 times more senior living community tours. These stats aren't guarantees for every listing, of course, but they do illustrate the net impact on average that reviews are having on driving prospective customers to some senior care businesses over others. Unfortunately, though, we're still seeing some rookie mistakes being made with online reputation management in our industry. I've compiled this list of the most common errors I encounter each week in helping to manage Caring's reviews program. If you're guilty of any of these, or you know someone on your team who needs to learn more about how to overcome any of these hurdles, I did an entire session devoted to this topic and would be happy to share that information as well as other expert resources such as those from Reputation.com. We also have an entire section of our blog dedicated to senior care review information. Given the prevalence and impact of online reviews nowadays, it's really important that you understand this opportunity and how to make the most of it. So please reach out to community@caring.com if you need any extra help in this area. Now, like social networks, there are now many review sites, and you'll need to prioritize your efforts, particularly if you don't have an agency or software monitoring all of the review sites for you. Here are some things to consider in selecting where to focus. How easy is it for your clients to post reviews on that site? How much traffic does that site get? Or put another way, when you get reviews on that site, how many people in your target demographic will actually see them? And is there a way for those reading the reviews to submit an inquiry or get more information from your business immediately? Does the platform have a way to respond to reviews or even contest reviews that have factual errors? What is the platform's approach to integrity and credibility in the reviews program? Will consumers trust that the reviews on that site are real? And if you, as the business being reviewed, have questions or a concern, how easy is it to reach the review site's customer service agents? The answers to these questions will help you decide how to move forward with prioritizing your reviews efforts. So to summarize the basics we've covered and in previous sessions, today and in previous sessions, the target audiences for your services are definitely using and benefiting from social media, and so should you. Focus your social marketing where it makes the most sense for your business. The hottest new social network getting lots of media coverage may not be the best fit for what you're trying to achieve, and you're better off seizing the opportunities already proven to deliver results in senior care. Also keep in mind that social media is regularly evolving. The algorithms and features of already popular platforms change, and new best practices come to bear. So you'll need to include ongoing learning in your social media plan. It's not something you can learn once and forever know exactly how to do it. And to that end, let's talk about what you need to know for social marketing in 2016. I remember thinking back when I first started at Caring.com in 2010. I was getting questions like, why do they need you? Old folks don't use social media. And I was reading articles and seeing trade show descriptions about social media being a trend. Would it last? Shortly before that, when I worked in the healthcare industry, I remember several professionals telling me that social media would never take off in healthcare marketing. I'm still subscribed to several of the leading healthcare marketing blogs and newsletters, and guess what? Social media is now a weekly topic in their content. In 2016, across numerous industries, including healthcare and senior care, it's no longer a question of if you should do social media marketing. Today, 92% of marketers consider social media valuable to their business and are integrating social approaches throughout their marketing. In our industry, reviews are the most effective social strategy. And if you're also participating on social networks, it's time for your business to move from just having a profile here and there to truly optimizing your social presence, measuring your effort, and prioritizing according to where you're getting the most bang for your buck. And speaking of measurement, in 2016, likes, or what's often referred to as vanity metrics, aren't going to be enough to justify the effort. It's time to track other business positive outcomes from your social marketing, and I'm going to take you through some examples now. We'll start with reviews, since they're the most important in senior care, and I have some great case studies that I'm really excited to share with you. For all the reasons we discussed today and previously, online reviews are crucial for digital marketing success in the senior care industry, and it's time to have some resources dedicated to generating reviews, monitoring reviews, responding to reviews, and promoting reviews. And if at this point in the session you're already persuaded that online reviews should be your top social marketing priority, great. Let's discuss how you can measure the outcomes from this type of social marketing for your business specifically. For instance, take a look at your online profiles or listings where you're getting reviews and how many reviews you have in each of those places. Then look to see how many inquiries, tours, or move-ins you got that you can trace back to those online referral sources. If you're working with a digital marketing agency or using online reputation management software, you may already be getting reports on this data and won't need to do the data collection analysis yourself manually. Or if you're a Caring.com client, we can assist you in this reviews analysis as well. For instance, we recently pulled some data for a home care chain that has more than 100 listings on our site. We looked at how many reviews they had per listing and how many inquiries they were getting on those listings. What we found was that their listings with 15 or more reviews got 1.5 times more leads than their listings that only had 1 or 2 reviews. Now, this client has seen the positive impact reviews are having on generating leads for their franchises. Their next step would be to see if they could increase that number even more. I identified a specific opportunity for them to explore and experiment. Namely, I noticed that the vast majority of their reviews were only positive and very brief, and I know that their franchises across the country rely heavily on our postcard review program. They like this review submission method because it's convenient for them and their clients. However, postcard reviews often contain just 1 or 2 sentences or less and don't offer a lot of insights for the prospective client visiting the listing and reading the reviews. Consumers are more suspicious or hesitant when they only see 5-star reviews, no negative feedback or constructive criticism, and reviews that are too short or too vague to glean anything helpful from them. So I would suggest that this home care client try to encourage more in-depth feedback be shared if they continue to use the postcard program, or try to encourage more of their clients and clients' family members to take advantage of the other ways to post lengthier reviews, such as the phone or online submission options. And they may also find it interesting to ask for feedback about what they could be doing better to help with the credibility of their reviews overall, particularly given research that Power Reviews did that found that 82% of consumers specifically seek out negative reviews during their research of a product or service. We did a similar study for a senior living client that also had over 100 listings, but had a more balanced ratio of positive to negative reviews. In their case, about 80% of the reviews had 4 or 5-star ratings, and 20% were neutral or negative. We found that their listings with 15 or more reviews had 5 times as many leads per listing, 7 times more tours, and 8 times more move-ins than listings that had only 1 or 2 reviews. Those are great numbers and reinforce that they need to continue making reviews a priority for marketing of their communities. Their next step opportunity is to experiment with increasing the number of provider responses they post for reviews. So like responding to positive reviews and negative reviews, and seeing if that increases the impact even more. We've also done some reviews impact analysis through our Caring Stars program that we've been doing for about 5 years now. These assisted living and memory care listings have the most positive ratings and also tend to have the most reviews as well, including having at least 3 new reviews within the last 3 years or current feedback. And they're required to respond to all negative feedback too, demonstrating a commitment to service excellence and managing their online reputation well. While you don't have to be a Caring.client to be a Caring Star, we do have inquiry, tour, and move-in data for those who are. So we pulled those numbers and compared it to our partner listings that hadn't won the award. We found that Caring Stars communities on average got twice as many inquiries and move-ins than partner listings that hadn't won the award. We know that families want to narrow their search to the best communities, and the integrity of our reviews program and extensive vetting we do of the Caring Stars helps instill confidence for prospective residents and their families in requesting more information or taking a tour of these communities. The move-in data we're seeing for these listings also helps reinforce that reviews are telling the truth. These truly are the best communities. The people they're serving are really happy with their offering and willing to share that feedback to help other families. Being a Caring Star also helps these senior living communities with accomplishing other goals as well. For instance, it gives them an opportunity to celebrate staff for a job well done and build enthusiasm and pride in the workplace. It's also an opportunity for a party or activity with the residents, and we at Caring.com really enjoy visiting at least one of these resident parties each year. Some Caring Stars communities also put the badge on their websites, newsletters, and billing statements as social proof of the high-quality services they're delivering. And many Caring Stars each year get featured in their local newspaper, which helps raise awareness about their high-quality services with more people in their area. So both the reviews and the award are good content on their social profiles as well. I hope those reviews case studies were insightful and inspiring. Let's now talk about Facebook, moving beyond the basics we discussed earlier to other opportunities for taking your Facebook marketing to the next level. People who follow your business page on Facebook used to be called fans. They're sometimes referred to as followers, and in Facebook vernacular, they're known as likes with a capital L. Not to be confused with the lowercase likes you get on a post you share. These likes are the folks who see your posts in their news feed, and over the years, there have been several studies about their value to businesses. The numbers these studies have come up with are all over the board, as you can see. From 0 and the perspective that you can't put a dollar sign on likes, all the way up to $174 per like. HubSpot has a calculator you can use to determine the value of a like for your business page specifically, and I've included that URL here if you'd like to give it a whirl to help you start to quantify your Facebook marketing. Beyond the dollar figure though, Facebook noted that people who like business pages tend to be more active online. They click on 5 times more links to external sites and have 2.5 more friend connections than the average Facebook user. So they could be great friends for your business to have, even if you don't know if they've put a cent in your pocket yet. What else can we measure from our Facebook marketing? How about bottom line metrics like inquiries, tours, and move-ins? At Caring, for instance, we're using a dedicated phone number for our social profiles to track inbound calls from this marketing channel and track those calls to inquiries, tours, and move-ins for our directory partners. And we have a Facebook ads program that helps us generate and track inquiries, tours, and move-ins too. Another metric you can measure from your Facebook marketing is visits to your blog or website. Google Analytics is a great tool for measuring this activity and can even tell you how long those website visitors are spending on your site and which pages interested them most. If you don't yet have Google Analytics, though, you can use the bit.ly URL shortener for links you share to your Facebook page to at least see the number of clicks on those links, including those that go to your website and blog. There are also features on Facebook that enable you to get new blog or newsletter subscribers, and Facebook has free insights you should be looking at and analyzing to understand how well your page is being received and acted on. So there are some, as I mentioned, some features on Facebook that you can use to better connect with your target audience and develop deeper relationships with them, including converting them to customers. For instance, the call to action button is now available, and you can use it to get inbound phone calls, blog subscribers, video views, and more. It appears at the top of your page, and Facebook provides data on how many people are clicking on it. And depending on how you've programmed your CTA button, you may also be able to measure other results from this feature as well. For instance, on the AARP page, which I'm showing here, they're using it to get new members to their organization. So in addition to the click numbers that Facebook is telling them, they may have their member sign-up form programmed to capture which of those sign-ups came from Facebook versus other channels. Page tabs is another feature you can use to drive results from your Facebook marketing and possibly even better results than the call to action button. On the Growing Bolder page, for instance, I noticed that they had both the sign up call to action button for their newsletter and the Be a GB Insider tab that also got sign-ups for their newsletter. What I noticed in this case, though, is that when I clicked on the sign up call to action button, it took more than 7 seconds for that page to load on their website. The average attention span of an adult in the U.S. is 8 seconds. So they just barely kept my attention while I waited for that page to load. But once it did, the box to enter my email for their newsletter was below the fold, and the page was cluttered with lots of information. Their GB Insider tab, on the other hand, loaded in my browser in just 3 seconds and was a simple, easy-to-use form that helped me immediately convert as a subscriber to their newsletter, and I could choose from 3 of their newsletters, in fact. I don't have access to the insights for this page or their website, so I don't know for sure, but I want to venture to guess here that they're having greater success getting new subscribers via that Facebook tab than their call to action button, given the experience of each. I'm less likely to bounce or abandon the sign-up when the page loads really fast and the entry form is clutter-free, easy to use, and doesn't take me away from Facebook, where I'm happy to be at that moment. Posts by others is another feature on Facebook pages that can help generate some tangible business results. Here are a few examples from our page where individuals posted about their search for senior living community and asked for our help in finding them, and another from someone who liked something they read on our website and wanted to give both positive feedback and share the resource with others. All of these people could have chosen to submit these items to us privately via the messaging feature or by visiting the contactcaring.com page on our website or even by calling us. But by sharing them as posts on our Facebook page publicly, they're helping to raise awareness to others about the resources and support we offer and give us an opportunity to demonstrate to their friends and the public how responsive we are to such requests and feedback. It's an example of online community on your Facebook page, where the conversation is started by the individuals who post to the page rather than the page itself. This may sound a little scary or uncomfortable for some of you, and granted, it's not suitable for all pages, but if you're willing to give it a try, there are some settings you can use to narrow the feature to your comfort level. For instance, on our page, we initially had this feature set so that all posts were immediately visible on our page. But we started seeing some spammers abuse that opportunity. So we adjusted the settings such that all posts were read by our community managers first before being published to our page. Making their posts private initially also gives us a chance to help some older adults and new Facebook users avoid sharing too much private information that wouldn't be prudent to post publicly online, such as their cell phone number or home address. Rather than making that post public, we typically follow up with them via private message to help them. And we pay the dollar to get the message into their inbox rather than the other messages folder that no one checks. We're focused, we're service-oriented at Caring.com, and when individuals take the time to reach out for help, we respond. Now, if you decide to try posts by others, I highly recommend that you develop some post guidelines and policies, which is best practice for managing any online community in a fair and safe manner. For instance, Brookdale is doing a great job with building this kind of trust and safe environment with their Facebook page visitors. Their page policies are posted from a House Rules tab on their page, which includes clear and friendly language about their page guidelines and recommendations for participation. It also has a means for people to contact them directly and connect with them on other social profiles and links to their website as well. And from their website, they have a page about their social policy that links back to the social profiles. So they have fully integrated their website and social presence in a transparent and fair manner. And in my opinion, this is an excellent example for others to emulate as well. While all of these free features for business pages on Facebook can deliver results, it's not as easy as it once was, and competition for eyeballs and attention is fierce. Every hour on Facebook, there are 3 million links shared in the news feed. And with the current algorithm, it's extremely difficult to get your posts in front of your page followers. In fact, most pages typically reach less than 3% of their followers with their posts, even when those posts are perfectly crafted. Increasingly, businesses need to invest in social advertising on Facebook to see any significant impact from their efforts. If you have a blog post that is working well with converting new subscribers or successfully motivating readers to call your agency or tour your community, you may want to spend some money to promote that post from your page to more of your followers, or to create an ad elsewhere on Facebook to get that blog post in front of people not yet familiar with your company or your Facebook page. There are many options for advertising on Facebook, including highly targeted placements with excellent results tracking. However, if you don't have budget to explore this opportunity and have to rely 100% on the free marketing options on Facebook, I recommend that you and your team adjust expectations for how well and how fast Facebook will work as a revenue generator for you. It's definitely possible to generate business results without spending money on Facebook, but it can take a lot more skill, a lot more time, and a lot more effort. In addition to reviews and Facebook marketing, there are some other trending opportunities to explore in 2016, namely mobile, video, and content marketing. Last spring, we told you about Mobilegeddon, which was essentially a lot of buzz about Google's new mobile-friendly algorithm that elevated web pages that perform well on mobile and deprioritized pages that didn't. This change to Google's algorithm wasn't a random event that their engineers just felt like doing. It was in direct response to the rise of smartphone usage, not only in America, but across the globe. eMarketer forecasts that by the end of 2016, there will be 200 million smartphone users in our country alone. More than half of those aged 50 to 64 will have one, and a third of those over 65 will also own a smartphone this year. We're seeing this uptick in usage of our site too, which now has half of its visitors coming via mobile phones and tablets. And Americans are spending a lot of time doing social networking on their smartphones, over 25 minutes a day. And messaging apps are growing in popularity too, with 24% of Americans over the age of 50 now using messaging apps. In a study that Google did last year with market research company Ipsos, they found that 91% of smartphone users turn to the device for ideas when doing a given task. They dubbed these micro moments, and they put them into 4 main categories. I want to know, I want to go, I want to do, I want to buy. They suggested that marketers figure out the micro moments in which your target audience has a need and your company or brand can play a role in meeting that need. For instance, Pew Research Center found that 44% of smartphone users in the U.S. were using the device to research places to live. So that's a micro moment or opportunity for senior living communities to explore. It's also an opportunity we're exploring here at Caring.com on behalf of our senior living partners. Smartphones present an opportunity to tailor content to the user's location, for example, shows them information about assisted living communities near them, and for the senior living searcher to immediately call us for help in setting up tours, getting cost info, or more via a live link at the top of their screen. So they can just click that link and start the phone call to a Caring.com family advisor. That's a feature that's pretty unique to mobile phones and reduces the time between their interest or desire to learn more and the moment they take the action of making the call. Given the rising usage of smartphones and the opportunity they present for local businesses, as well as the need to rank well in search engines, if you haven't already done so, it's time to design your website and blog to be mobile friendly. Responsive web design is one way you can accomplish this. It's an approach that adjusts the layout of the page depending on the device you're using to view it, from desktop to mobile. Alternatively, some opt to make separate sites or apps for mobile only as another way to be accessible and utilized on smartphones. For those of you using Google Analytics with your website, you can see how much traffic to the site is currently via mobile phones versus computers, and you can also learn more about specific browsers that your visitors are using. And you should test your site and blog features on those same devices and browsers to see the experience that your site visitors are having and fix any issues you uncover. If you don't have Google Analytics and can't get that granular on your testing of your site, use one of the several online tools that enable you to see your site in various devices and resolutions. Go to Google and Google the Web Resolution tool to see some examples of those tools you can use. Another thing to consider in adapting to the mobile trend is site speed. Earlier I talked about the 8-second rule or attention span you need to consider with your social marketing. On mobile, the expectation is even higher. In fact, one study found that 64% of smart users expect the page to load in 4 seconds or less. And when it doesn't, they click away. MobiTest is a free online tool you can use to see how fast your site or blog is loading on various phones. Experts also recommend that you give thought to the mobile experience and how that is different than using your website while sitting at a computer. For example, they suggest fewer file downloads, reducing image dimensions, redesigning your navigation menus, and having clear, focused content, far less than what you'd show on a desktop version of your site. You'll also need to consider mobile usage with your social profiles as well, and can even use mobile apps to monitor and manage your social marketing on the go. Another rising trend in social media marketing is the use of video. Leanne Hewer at the marketing agency CoreCube shared with me via email recently that she thinks video is undoubtedly going to be the biggest social media surge this year, and she agrees that senior care companies need to start finding ways to incorporate video in their social campaigns. Given the incredible usage stats for video search and consumption on Facebook, YouTube, and elsewhere, it's no wonder that marketers are using video to reach and engage customers. In fact, in a survey by Web Marketing 123, 70% of brands reported that video was the most effective tool in their digital marketing. It's so popular and engaging that Facebook now has a suggested videos feature to promote video content to its users and is testing an entirely new video-only feed. And consider this, there are now over 100 billion searches for videos on YouTube each month, and 43% of U.S. boomers are accessing that channel and its video via their mobile phones. So I think CoreCube is wise to focus on this area of digital marketing for its clients, and I encourage you to do the same. Now, if you're thinking video is too expensive or out of reach, think again. I have seen several viral video hits that were shot on a mobile phone and had no formal production whatsoever. Not every subject matter would work well with such a grassroots format, of course, but the point is that there are other options, including online free video software such as WeVideo, that can get you into the action without having to hire an expensive video production company to create a video for your senior living community or home care agency. And as you distribute your video to YouTube and other video hosting sites, remember to optimize for search. Just as you would with your web pages, you want to make it as easy as possible to people to find and view that video. Use your target keywords, topic tags, and descriptive titles. Include an enticing summary to drive views, and make sure that the thumbnail image that travels is really compelling. Often it's pictures, not words, that are driving web users to click. Another thing to keep in mind with your video, with your use of video, is social, particularly Facebook. Shorter is better. Aim for less than 3 minutes, no more than 5. Also remember that some of the video production and marketing basics. Make sure that everyone involved is fully opted in and has agreed in writing for use of their likeness in your video works. And be mindful of how you present them, showing respect to both their privacy and their dignity. Also, a word of caution. Create a staff policy about the use of video with your senior living community residents or home care clients, and be proactive and vigilant about adherence to it. There was a recent article about some skilled nursing staff who were taking indecent video of patients and uploading it to Snapchat, including some video that seemed to convey elder abuse. So take the steps necessary to help ensure that doesn't happen in your communities or with your senior clients. It can hurt our entire industry when such news hits the press, and there's so much good instead that can be done with video. Now, the use of video is one of many components in this year's other hot trend, content marketing. According to a study done by Google and the Corporate Executive Board, potential customers nowadays are nearly 60% through the sales cycle before even speaking with a sales rep, regardless of the price point. They're doing research online and learning as much as they can about meeting their need and how you may or may not fit into that equation before they even pick up the phone. To be found by your prospective clients in a crowded digital environment where there's lots of competition for their attention and engagement requires that you provide valuable, highly relevant content. Thus, the rise of content marketing and the use of social media to amplify that content. I've shared 2 quotes here to help you understand the difference between the two, and I also want to share another with you that Leanne at CoreCube shared. She said, overall, no matter what social network you are using, the expectations for content quality will soar this year. Informative, useful content will trump blatant sales efforts. So focusing on creating quality content that your audience will find helpful and shareable is vital. She also recommends that home care agencies and other senior care providers make blogging a crucial part of their digital marketing strategy. Our next webinar in February is focused entirely on content marketing, so I'm not going to go too much further in depth on that topic now, but I do have a few tips that I can share with you. As Leanne stated, you need to share high quality content on your social profiles, and that includes both creating it yourself and curating it from others. I also recommend that you adjust how you share that content in each channel. It shouldn't be a one-size-fits-all, and you shouldn't blast the same text across the platforms. That would be a rookie mistake, as each platform has unique nuances that drive engagement. Lastly, I would suggest using storytelling and first-person narratives in your content marketing. When done well, these are tried and true approaches for driving engagement, whether you're helping connect the readers to folks just like themselves or inspiring through the words and actions of someone they may be impressed or aspire to be. Okay, so we've covered a lot in this session, and we are running out of time. So let's quickly digest the key takeaways for you and your team before moving on to Q&A and final announcements. In 2016, if you haven't already mastered the basics of social media marketing, you're going to be very challenged to realize significant tangible results from your efforts. So do what you can to fill in any gaps in your and your team's understanding of social media marketing and refine your approaches as soon as possible. Online reviews should be your first and most important area given the proven results they drive for your business's bottom line. Facebook is still the biggest opportunity in social networking for reaching the most boomers and seniors, but it's still it's a lot less effective if you don't invest in their social advertising options. And the other 3 areas of biggest opportunity that we covered are mobile, video, and content marketing. So start exploring those strategies more if you haven't already done so. Now, one last thing before we open up to questions. Here's 3 things you can do right away to start putting the insights from this session to work for your business. Contact 3 of your happy clients and ask them to post a review about your services. Give them a link to the site or share other ways they can submit that review to the review site. Then go to Facebook and try a social ad. I recommend that you spend at least $50, and I would try one of the newsfeed or site ads rather than a promoted post to help you reach new followers of your page or subscribers to your blog rather than get a single post in front of more of your existing fans. And lastly, pick up your smartphone and surf your organization's website and blog. Take note of any issues you're seeing and follow up with your web development team to get those fixed as soon as possible. Okay, now I'll take your questions, and I have Katie Roper here to help with that. So I'm going to put down the phone and put you on speaker.
Hello, it's Katie. Nice to have so many of you joining us today. Denise, this is a great presentation, and we're getting a lot of questions. The first one is how do you effectively handle negative Facebook comments or negative reviews and prevent them from popping up online forever? And this is also, I was at the SMASH conference a couple months ago. I think a lot of you were there too. And the gentleman from Reputation.com said it's actually cheaper to leave something online forever than it is to find it and delete it. So things that go up on the web never come down. And how should senior housing and home care companies deal with those?
Well, first thing I would suggest is to adjust the perspective that you can prevent negative feedback forever. I think you should look at negative feedback in another way. It's an opportunity to improve your services. It's telling you some objections you're encountering. And that information can be crucial to helping you convert prospective clients. And as I mentioned during the presentation, adds credibility to the positive feedback you're having. Consumers are more likely to believe the feedback when they see that there's also some negative feedback next to it. They know no one is perfect, and they want to know what are the blemishes. Are those big blemishes? Are those personal beefs of that reviewer that aren't affecting me? So I would say don't try to avoid negative feedback. But when you get it, I also would refer back to the policies and procedures. Have in place what your guidelines are for handling Facebook posts, and in order to follow those procedures when you get the negative feedback. I suggest you take it off of Facebook and you take it to your customer service channels. Don't go tit for tat with folks online. That is only going to hurt you in the long run. You'll come across as defensive. The other thing I would suggest is if there's factual errors, correct those factual errors. On review sites, get the review taken down. On Facebook, share information, help service them directly, but also share information to correct the record of what the, not in a lot of detail, but to set the record straight on any factual errors. Like for instance, they have over 500 rooms when you have 100. Something that's fact-based and not emotionally charged. Feel free to address in that negative feedback. But don't be afraid of negative feedback. Address it.
Denise, on that topic, if you get a positive review, which at Caring we see most of the reviews are positive, should you thank someone for giving you that good review?
I think you should. I think it's helpful to the prospective client to see the level of gratitude and service that you have at your organization, that you're paying attention to the feedback, that it matters to you, and that you appreciate that person taking the time to tell others about the positive experience they had.
One more question on reviews. What are the top 3 review sites that a senior living company should be involved with?
Caring.com, obviously. We have the most reviews. We have the most target audience visiting those reviews. We have the most eyeballs. So definitely Caring.com should be on your list.
I would also take a look at Google and consider Facebook. However, the caveat with Facebook is it's harder to find customer service agents, so if there's an issue, that could be a real problem for you. So those are the three that I would take a look at, but definitely Caring. Senior Homes is another one, and Google. What about Yelp? Yelp is another one you could consider. Yelp, we get some negative feedback from some of our clients about their experience with Yelp if they're not an advertiser. If any of you, I'd love to hear your feedback. If you're not an advertiser and you're having a positive experience, let me know about that. The other thing about Yelp to keep in mind is there was a study done, I believe it was Harvard, and they found that Yelp's algorithm was hiding reviews if the person only posted one positive five-star review, had never posted any other reviews, didn't have a lot of Yelp friends, that they hid those reviews. Well, we know in senior care that it's not uncommon for the individual not to flesh out their profile and not to have lots of reviews posted. They may have moved their loved one into only one senior living community and only have one review to share. So that's another thing to keep in mind about Yelp reviews. It could be a downside for our industry. We're running out of time here, but a couple of questions. Is it better to have a corporate brand page and then where most posts go, and then a separate page for each community, or should you just have community pages, or what's the best way to structure that? It's going to depend on how large your organization is, how well organized your organization is, and how much staff you have, and whether or not you have an agency helping you manage all those brand pages. If you're not well resourced, I suggest you have one page and share from each of the communities instead. You can also include, many of the organizations that I see have pages on their website for the individual communities where they allow those individual communities to share photos and news and all that stuff there. So it may be better for you to incorporate in your one page, build your following on that one page, drive all your social ads from that one page, and share information from the various communities. That's one way to do it. Another way is to consider private groups for each of the communities where the families of those residents can see the activities you're doing. You can go more deep into all of the activities and special attributes of that community for that community without making it a public page. Just make it specific for that community. It's like an online community in the Facebook groups area rather than the brand page. So I just want to close with, there's lots of different ways to do it. I'm happy to discuss it further. I'm really sorry that we've run out of time. And don't worry for all the questions that didn't get answered. I will definitely follow up with you. Here's one last question that leads into the next thing. We have a challenge with keeping content fresh for the senior living industry. I need creative ideas for content outside of community event coverage and health topics. Well, that's an exciting question, and you're right. That does take us into our next session where we're going to be rolling out, we're going to do a deep dive on content marketing, a lot more in-depth than we discussed today, including how to offer, how local services can offer quality content on a limited marketing budget. And we're going to be unveiling details about a new content program we're going to be offering this year to help address those needs for those of you who don't have a big team, are running out of ideas, and are looking for creative inspiration and sourcing of content. So we're going to send you an email to sign up for that and look for it. But if you're anxious to get on the list immediately, go to our partner blog. It's partners.caring.com. Partners.caring.com. Click the events tab, and you'll find the registration link for the content marketing session. Okay, I'm really sorry we've run out of time. I really thank everyone who asked questions, who submitted questions in the registration, who took our poll, and who took time to learn about social media marketing today. I really appreciate it. I hope you found it helpful. You're going to be prompted to share some feedback right after the session, in both on screen and in the email. I hope you do share your candid feedback. And I want you to have our contact information and where you can find us online. Community@caring.com email. We're CaringCom on Facebook, and @Caring Insights on Twitter. Thank you so much for attending today.